and welcome to the first day of ESL One Cologne. This might only be the B stream. We've got some A+ content coming up for you. I'm Harry. Joining me is Hugo Byron. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm really excited for today. It should be a lot of fun Counter-Strike as usual.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited as well. Yeah, we're not in Cologne. We are based here over in the UK. You know, bringing it in from the studio up in Leicester, which is some fantastic stuff. But yeah, we're going to be kickstarting this one by taking a look at the standings, or lack thereof thus far. And of course, we can kind of chat a little bit about the teams that we do have competing here today. Of course, for those of you who kind of are just joining on in, that is going to be Cloud9, FaZe, Fnatic, G2, and then Heroic, Immortals, Mouse, Na'Vi. I actually know all the teams. It's just trying to do it in the order that's coming up on the screen for the sake of you guys at home. Yeah, and then after that, we've got NIP, North, Optic, SK, and lastly, Space Soldiers, Liquid, Tyloo, and VP. Are there any names there, Hugo, that kind of stand out to you? Ones that, perhaps are a little bit out there, a little bit wacky, that you think could do well or maybe won't do that well?
I think Space Soldiers, right? Everyone's looking at them kind of, because this is their first event actually ever that's over 100k prize pool, other than WSG, which I think it comes under a different category. So looking at them coming into this event, managing to qualifying, beating some impressive teams to get here, Godsent being one of them, obviously Envy as well, Outlaws, all 2-0 without dropping a map, making their way all the way to Cologne, their first proper, real, tier 1 event. While they are kind of a dark horse coming into this one, they could be surprising. They could actually catch us off guard. They also, have finally at least signed Calyx. He's joined the roster. And while they have a 6-man roster and they're quite an interesting team in the sense they like to switch stuff up in that way, I think they could actually be quite surprising and definitely manage to take some maps off some of the teams in the event.
Right then, I think I heard you say somewhere in there that we're going to take a look at the schedule. But yeah, no, the games for today. First up, we got FaZe v Heroic. That's the one that you and I are going to be covering. And we're going to toss that over to, Jackie. And are we going to go with Chris or Crispian? What do you want to go? Like, nicknames or?
You were saying Christ earlier. And I think that's acceptable.
I don't think that's good. I think maybe not. We'll go with Crispian.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be for the SK Space Soldiers game. Then me and Hugo back. You kind of get the pattern at this point for G2 versus Tyloo. And then lastly, North and Optic. That's it, at least until we know the draws for the next stage.
Yeah, exactly. I think we've got a really great game to start things off, though. Yeah. We've got, FaZe, who've obviously come off the back of quite a few second places, a single win at Star Series, and then we've got, Heroic, who Heroic, who haven't played an official match in 40 days now. So coming into this event and seeing them, maybe they'll be underprepared in the sense they haven't been playing recently, or maybe they'll have some tricks up their sleeve. They haven't been playing any events to give away any strategies. They haven't had to save strats for this event. So in theory, considering they're not at the major, they're only here, this could be a really good event for Heroic.
Yeah, but I think when you look at it, you have to kind of admire the fact that there has been this gradual decline for Heroic.
Yeah,
they came in, they started off very strong. Everyone was like, this could be a big contender for one of the top teams eventually. With enough work put in. And then it feels like they've kind of started to slow down a bit. I'm not going to compare them directly, but almost like what we kind of saw from Kingwin somewhat, but Kingwin much more dramatically. Yeah. We've seen them kind of placing, worse and worse at events. We've seen them struggle to qualify for things, most notably perhaps the EU minor where they didn't manage to make it through. There are a couple of things I think that does kind of call all that into question.
Yeah, their performance hasn't been too great. It's been inconsistent, though. That's one thing you've got to take into account, because while obviously at the start of their kind of build, they obviously had 3rd and 4th place at events like Leipzig and Austin, if I'm correct, and then they went on to IEM in Poland, Katowice, where they actually managed to make it all the way to the semis. Obviously, that was off of seed through group stage, so they didn't actually play any best of 3s in the playoffs, but still they made it through. They lost 2-0 to Astralis, who went on later to win the event, so no surprise there. But still, managing to get to the semis as a team that's been, as you say, inconsistent and kind of on a bit of a decline is impressive. That being said, looking at this team as well, we have some fairly recent roster changes. We saw Valde leave the team, or at least go to the bench, and everyone kind of went, okay, all right, Valde's getting picked up by another team. Fetish is benching him, so they don't have to play with someone that's eventually going to leave in a few weeks. But we've seen nothing yet. We haven't seen Valde move, so that's been a really interesting change. And while they have brought in S-Tag, essentially making this team the old tricked roster, or at least 3 out of 5 of them with Nico, Yugi, and S-Tag. Potentially, while S-Tag is a good player, they could be surprising here. They could, upset some teams for sure. But FaZe, it's a hard one.
Yeah, I think FaZe is probably your worst nightmare.
Yeah.
If you are this team coming into it. Okay, all that considered, if you guys want to kind of weigh in on your thoughts, or if you're perhaps at the event, you go ahead and get at us over on Twitter using the hashtag ESL One. Be sure to send your opinions and whatnot our way. That'd be fantastic, just kind of getting everyone's input. Because, it's all right having it from you, Hugo. Yeah. You're a fantastic man, but sadly you can't represent everyone. I imagine in a lot of cases, actually, you're quite contrary. You kind of try. Well, I don't know.
Where are you going with this?
Off camera, you're very contrary. On camera, you're very, on the fence, firmly in the middle.
Such a bad joke.
It's not. It's not a joke.
Let it die.
It's just, I'm not going to let it die. Not till you change your act, Hugo. But yeah, okay. So looking then into this first matchup, because I don't think we've got the vetoes just yet. I imagine we'll be primed once we've got them. Looking at this then.
I think map pool is just so interesting coming into this single best of one, because the map pool for these two teams is so similar. Both these teams love Overpass, Inferno, and Nuke. They both have high win percentages on those three maps. Overpass, Inferno, and Nuke are the three maps that I'm expecting, or one of which I'm expecting to see, because both these teams love those three maps. And obviously, because we're best of one, we're vetoing down to a single map. Surely one of these maps is going to be left in the pool for these teams.
Yeah. And, when it kind of comes down to it, I imagine there's two men's names whose name is exactly the same on everyone's mind. It is Nico. We've got a bit of a, we've got a bit of a VT from FaZe Nico, not to be confused with Heroic Nico, which I guess we can take a look a little bit of a look at now.
I started playing CS when I was 9 years old. My parents were having a video club. Obviously, I met some friends there and I saw them playing. Of course, I started playing as well. Back then, when I played against them, that was competition we had. It didn't change anything. I still tried to be the best, and I still tried to beat no matter who is on the other side. From the beginning, I had more focus on CS than everything. Obviously, I was going step by step. I wanted to be like the best in my city first. When we made a team, I wanted to be the best like in my country. I was really afraid of making like any moves, and when some Serbian team invited me, I accepted it. That's what I made a huge difference in my career. When I really stepped up as a player, I was really young. I didn't know them, they didn't know me, so it was kind of a hard choice for me. When I was turning 18, I got my first offer from eSports, which I declined. I still believe that I can make it to the top with my Serbian team. I did not tell to my parents because I knew that they would force me to accept the offer, because they knew that I wanted this since I was a kid. After another try with Serbian team, which did not work out, I got an offer for tryout. I did my job, they invited me to the team, and everything started from there.
They're in the bomb site now and they're already on it. They need to get this through. They go have a kit, so he's got a lot of time to work with here. Nico on the outside, he gets the one kill, comes back with noise sprays. He wins one while they're still using Nico. He's gonna go for it. He's got the dribble. He gets the quad kill. Oh my God, Nico!
My name is Niko Kovac. I play for Team eSports. I represent Bosnia.
I had a lot of pressure back then when I joined eSports, but I would also say that pressure helped me a lot to improve really fast and to build what I had back then. If I had to summarize time in eSports, I think that they made me a player, actually. They made my new personality as a professional player. They just made me what I am right now, because that was the time where I made my career. I'm really thankful to eSports. Without them, I could not be where I am at the moment, because they gave me a great opportunity. But you can't be the best player if you don't have the best team in the world. I tried for 2.5 years to make eSports the best team in the world, but it didn't work out. So at some point, I had to leave the team. I had to accept the offer from FaZe.
Over 10,000 fans here to watch 10 people play Counter-Strike.
This is Nico's first final of a big tournament. The first time he's going to play on the big stage.
Join a team for 4 days and get your first grand final. It's kind of sick.
We played every grand final since I joined, but that's not what we want. We want to win every final we are in, so that's what we want at the moment. Kerrigan is a really huge piece in our team. I think that's what makes our team work really good at the moment. He knows how to use our skill, how to use our potential. That helps us a lot. On us, it's just to deliver. We are the guys who celebrates the most, and that's what Robin said to me, is that like they need that kind of guy as well. Wayne has really great personality. He's the player I want to play with for a long time already. If I could make the best lineup in the scene, I would pick that player first. You can count on him anytime to do any job you need. Alu is a really funny guy. Even when we are playing final, he is really calm player and he keeps making the jokes in the team. And about Kyo, people are calling him the problem. And I think that he wants to prove that he is not the one, especially when we play against Frenchies, because he is the one who is like left from 2 rosters in France. That's what I like the most, that he wants to prove that he deserves the best. I'm the guy who can do anything on the team. I will do everything to win the match, to win the round. My goals at the moment are that we become the best team in the world. I think that we are not that far from it, but I hope that we are going to try to be the most consistent team in it. That's our goal at the moment, I would say.
Nico, he has to be the saviour of this round. Lines up a couple. There's 2 frags. That's what we wanted to see. And the third! Nico saves the round for FaZe. It was looking so desperate, but Cold Zero now in the 3 versus 1 and 25 seconds remaining.
You want to prove yourself the most when there is a lot of crowd. Just cheering for you, you want to prove, you want to make them proud, you want to make them happy. That's where pressure comes. When you see them like cheering for you, then you want to give even more, and that's what keeps players in this game, I think. I just hope that more crowd will be on our side than on opponent's side. I really love what I'm doing, and I'm gonna try to play as long as I can. I don't know what my family will say at the end of my career, but I believe that they're gonna be really proud and happy that I managed to do it, especially if I become one of the legends. I think that even in the future, this is gonna get even bigger. It's gonna mean even a lot more to the nations. After I achieve all my goals, I might go back and try to make a team for my country. I want to be the guy who's gonna make esports much bigger in my country, maybe the name which people will remember. I will forever stick in esports.
Emotional stuff there from Nico. That really got to me. It hit hard, especially because I feel like, you know, me and him could have our haircut in the same barber. I really want to ask him what he gets done, you know. I feel like maybe not now, my hair's very long, but normally, Hugo, you've seen it on, you know.
I can verify.
Yeah, we're very similar, right? Me and Nico could be the new haircut duo.
Not quite the CS skill that's similar, but yeah, haircut I think is one of the few things that you can
No, I
match.
could get him in and then I could have like a good cocoa.
Ooh, that's deep. I mean,
yeah.
He said he wanted to stick in esports. He could.
Yeah, that is true. He definitely
Yeah.
could. I think, you know, he's very articulate. He knows his stuff.
At this point, he probably shouldn't quit playing. He's doing very
No, I
well.
think he's doing pretty decent, yeah. Okay, so heading into this one then.
Yeah.
You know, we kind of spoke a little bit about the maps. If you had to put your money on it, what map do you think that would be seeing come out of this one?
I'm going to go Inferno or Nuke. I probably just move to Inferno, right? Because these two maps specifically are the best 2 maps. Overpass is good, obviously, but these are 2 of the best 2 maps coming into this, this series for these 2 teams. So it's nice to see a similar map pool because, obviously it means you get the best Counter-Strike. Both teams are going to be well prepared. So I'm going to go with Inferno. That's been a map that FaZe have already been starting to play more often. They've started to at least prove that they're one of the more dominant teams on it. And a lot of teams, you look at like Astralis with such a deep map pool, and we go, oh, they've got the deepest map pool. But FaZe are kind of creeping up in that sense. If you look at least statistically, which obviously doesn't tell the full story, FaZe don't have a single map in their map pool with a lower than 50% win percentage. Even their worst 2 maps, Cash and Cobble, are both at 50%. Cobble, they don't play that much. They've only got 4 matches on, and 2 of them are wins. But Cash, I mean, that's 50%. That's their most played map. So they have a really, really deep map pool in the sense that they don't let any maps go negative, and they play every single map. So that's always nice to see. But yeah, I'm going to go with Inferno for this one, but it could just as well be Nuke.
Right, yeah. And, you know, I think Overpass is one that, in all honesty, I don't, you know, in spite of the fact that, as you said, both these teams are good on it, lately we've kind of been seeing Heroic tend to not go towards it too much. And on top of that, I mean, equally from FaZe's point of view, when we saw them go head-to-head on it, I think it was IEM. I actually have this written down, but I can't remember what event it was. So, you know, it was one of the IEMs, whether it was Sydney or Katowice. God, it's early in the morning. I've been up since 4 a.m. So, yeah. But, you know, whatever one it was, when we did see them go head-to-head, it went like 19 to 16. They took them through to OT on Overpass. You know, it was a very, very close affair. I think that maybe that could still be in FaZe's mind, even though I would say that FaZe are kind of above and beyond that of Heroic in this instance. I have to ask then, out of the 2 Nikos, because, you know...
Are you going to compare them?
I'm not going to. No, I'm not making a. I'm just going to say, who do you think, you know, is going to have more of an impact for their team? Maybe, you know, I mean, we know that Nico on FaZe is a monster. We know that he's going to be the one kind of topping, but how, you know, the clash of the Nikos.
Well, this depends on the map, right? So let's just assume it's Inferno because that's probably the more likely. Actually, I think even with Inferno or Nuke, because of the AWP presence, usually I'd look on Heroic and I go Yugi, right? Yugi is that guy who always steps up, who's almost at the top of the ball.
So hang on a minute. Out of the 2 Nikos, you've picked Yugi.
No. I'm making my
Oh, okay, right. Okay, yeah, no, I get it.
Yugi is usually the man to step up at least. You know, Nico's up there as well, but Yugi's typically the man to step up, at least that Valdi's not in the team, for Heroic. But seeing as we're probably going to end up on one of these two maps, I'm just going to go with Nico, at least, you know, on the side of Heroic, because we won't have as much AWP presence, especially on the T side of Inferno. It's a map similar to Cobble, where it's kind of just used as a counter instead of an actual buy-up over on the T side. So I'm going to go, actually, for the team, Nico over on Heroic, you know, at least for his team. But overall, I think we've got to kind of lean the way of FaZe in terms of predictions, and especially, you know, them actually managing to take the map.
As I was trying to say, the map is going to be Inferno, and we're going to be getting straight into this one. No time to wait around, no more discussion from me or the Byron as we head into this first pistol round.
Yeah, full armor here for the side of Heroic. We're going to be seeing a triple B setup to start things off here for the CT side, and FaZe just a couple of smoke buy-ups. Nico going to be on one, Karragan as well to follow. Strange to not see Nico on some sort of a deagle, or maybe even armor to support that buy-up, but either way, leaning towards a bit of a smoke setup as they set their way towards the apartments. We're going to have a triple waterfall burst play through. We're going to have two players pushing up through mid with the utility as well. And Heroic with only two players here and no aggression down Banana, they might not know this one's coming, Harry.
Yeah, I'm going to be waiting out here towards A. No time for them to rotate players around. And FaZe just goes pouring out of the site. Nico and Pick going to be headshotted. It's Yugi within the site to start raining down. Death is still alive and kicking for Keo finally puts him down. And that bomb plant will be coming on through. They're actually going to lose Karragan to Snappy there over towards Long. It's now going to be back into a 3-on-3. Bomb timer ticking away. Modi, the man who can make all the difference, just chipping away at these guys from Library, while the rest of his team push up from short. It's going to be S-Tac to start things off. Down goes Keo. And already this is getting a bit spicy. Harley going to trade things back, but it's easy for S-Tac, who gets himself two. Only got one more left to find. It's all on Harley. Will shut him down. Defuse to come on in, and that is Heroic to go ahead and pick up the pistol on the back of a fancy 3K from S-Tac.
Such a weird setup there for FaZe, though. They get the bomb down the site, they have a 3v3, and they commit to everyone staying in the site. In that kind of position, you usually want to move.
What a man! He was fully prepared for that.
Ready for it.
That was stylish, you know. It was Skadoodle that we saw first do that, you know, with the welcome to the clutch sticker.
On Mirage.
And now we've got S-Tac just busting one out of his own, you know. Clutch, fair enough, I'll give you that. What a way to kickstart today, Hugo.
And the latest addition to Heroic as well, showing up with the 3K and the pistol. But yeah, it's surprising to see FaZe commit to the site and not play anyone over in Graveyard or in Pit there for the post plant. But fast rotations from Heroic down through middle allowed that at least, and allowed them to get back into the site quickly. But now we see the buy up. FaZe with a very formidable buy. Only a single rifle on the side of Heroic, and up against two AKs. I mean, FaZe are known for this kind of thing. They're known for their individual talents. So running into this round, Heroic, they've got to be pretty careful, because FaZe on the force, this could really be an upset.
Yeah, already the push going to be coming in down through Banana. Smoke's there for the time being, while the rest of FaZe look to try and take some control out towards mid, holding the angle. It's Yugi. They've spotted him, Rain. Oh, he knows. Your position to give it away, but Yugi somehow picks that one up. Karragan able to trade things back, does at least return us into a 4-on-4. Nico now falls over a balcony. This could make all the difference. Keo, the man with the rifle out on balcony, go ahead and drop body within the site. It's all on S-Tag and Snappy. 2v4. This A-bomb site has come crumbling down.
Exactly what I said. The AKs, they're always going to work out for FaZe. Now coming into this Heroic, who only invested in a single rifle on the S-Tag. Now going to be put into a really uncomfortable spot. Two players left, looking to save, looking to hold on to exits here. At this point, economical damage is good because we're early game, and FaZe have not built up a bank by any means. So Heroic actually playing fairly aggressively here on the post plant does make sense. If they can grab a couple of rifles off of these, you know, last remaining players, it could be good. But FaZe aren't exactly going to be exiting one by one. They're not going to be hunting for this because they will have the far better buy. Moving out through second mid together, safe post plant position there because it's unlikely Heroic are going to be playing at range here considering the SMGs. Do see a bit of control down towards Vietnam for S-Tag, but nothing comes down. FaZe holds 4 weapons there, and what a great second round. They just double play the A site, managed to pick it up. Pretty simple for FaZe. Now Heroic with the money, they are going to be absolutely screwed, Harry.
I only just realised that Nico's name, as in FaZe Nico, is real Nico.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, Heroic Nico, but you kind of got mugged off there. It is going to be the 4 spy coming in from Heroic, going to be buying down what they can up behind these rifles that they were able to save, as you would expect. Already, it looks like FaZe will be turning some attention over here towards Banana. Modi going to be held back. That nade finds a little bit of damage, and if he goes walking up now, Keo and Rain going to be locking this down. That's actually the double peek out into Keo. They drop him out the equation, and Rain can't trade that back. So it is the man advantage secured early on here for Heroic. They do go and take the first. No one in a great spot now to try and... Well, saying that, no, real Nico going to go ahead and drop out S-Tag. So he will be back into the 4-on-4. And Nico with this dig is just a terrifying prospect for Heroic to deal with.
No utility left now for Heroic. A single smoke on the Danish Nico over on A. But that's not exactly a helpful prospect right now. FaZe have got a plethora of utility left to expend over on this A site. As they start to move up in through middle, we still have Nico challenging down towards Banana, and that keeps this lone player there on the site. Luckily for Heroic, they haven't pre-rotated here. They're still just banking on this being an A play. Right now, they can't afford any risks, but Yugi, he's going to be dropped by Rain as he rounds the corner, wrapping back around towards the A site. Nico in, and Parlance does manage to pick up one onto Alu, but still, FaZe have now found themselves onto A. There's a couple of players in the vicinity, but Carrington will remove them, and as his flight comes out through the back of apartments, Nico will not be expecting it. Dropped by his brother, as Snappy is left last alive on B.
That was some hot and spicy Nico on Nico action there. And yeah, now it's just Snappy. He's in the 1v3. Numbers are probably not my forte. And yeah, just going to be looking to save in this scenario. Bomb will be planted for FaZe, and they're going to save themselves 3 rifles out of this round, providing they don't go down to Snappy, which is, fairly fantastic. It's going to be a reset felt now by Heroic, as they did elect to force buy up into this round. Oh, Snappy. He's in the back line. Carrigan around in the corner, gonna fall. Snappy now got himself an AK to try and work with. Has to be careful, as there are still players nearby, but he's making this expensive. He's got himself a rifle to play with in the next round. It's gonna come in handy. That is unless, the real Nico, the man himself, coming on in to try and claim this. Oh, that was close, Nico. That was uncomfortable. But yeah, FaZe in with their second. Heroic just going to have to grit their teeth in this one. Can't really afford to invest too much. Just going to be relying on Snappy as kind of the catalyst rifle to try and make some magic happen.
Yeah, the ball is now in FaZe's court firmly. Only Alu, the Mac 10, going to try and build up some cash here. $600 kill reward off that gun as they start to charge their way through Banana. Nico, once again, taking control. He does have Alu in support, but the Molotov going to hold them back. And the first pick on the other side of the map as Keo drops Modi on the aggression. We have barely any investment coming out for Heroic. To see FaZe manage to dispatch them one by one is probably not going to be too much of a surprise. Do continue with this Banana aggression. Alu leading the charge, and with only a solo player on B, once again, Heroic are taking a lot of risk. That is obviously what you want to do coming into an eco like this, but at the end of the day, it's going to probably result in FaZe taking this round without too many casualties, although Snappy will rotate in time, so he is in position to try and get some work done.
Yeah, they're actually going to be sending Nico on round to try and help out. 3 players outside of B, but the bomb firmly fixated its attention over towards A. S-Tag playing it around the fountain. It's a cheeky spot. But now he's in a spot of bother here, trapped in the fountain, frolicking around in the water. And Arlu isn't a fan of ball party. Going to go to jump down with the Mac 10. Does immediately fall to Nico there on the trade. They are doing a bit of damage, but they've only lost the 1 Mac 10 player now, with all 3 remaining players inside the B-bomb site. Will be the retake over on A. There's 4 players alive still for FaZe. We're not going to see Snappy try and go for this. Does manage to find Nico. And that's going to allow other Nico. This is confusing, Hugo. We need to try and find a better way of, summarizing these guys.
Yeah, that's such a good setup, though, from FaZe, right? They send the Mac 10 player in Banana with support from Nico, and then 3 players outside of A. The A players don't focus on apps control. They don't focus on taking that bomb site, but instead they just let Alu get the information. He runs into B. He's expendable, right? He goes down. They go, okay, we've got 2 or 3 players down on B. Just charge A, just run into the site, and it's completely clear. FaZe don't focus on getting the information on A. They instead just see the setup by walking into B. So it's a good way to start things off, a good way to play those anti-ecos and just double-check the Heroic don't have any crazy stats or forces going on. So clean round from FaZe, keep 3 alive, but Heroic at least have been doing a good job on the saving. This is going to start to build up the economy a little bit for the CT side, but they've got to start to pick up rounds. AWP is on the cards here. The Snappy and Nico did save onto weapons in the previous one, but doesn't look like they'll be committing to it. No, and actually on the flip side, FaZe, they forced buy one up on Alu. He's got the money for that, so this could be quite a dangerous situation for Heroic if they go for any early aggression down Banana.
Yeah, especially seeing as he had to spawn for him. He's already here in mid. way before anyone else could be. Now, actually, Heroic didn't make the decision to go for any peaks, which is much to their advantage. They've waited for the utility to come out over on Banana. And already, actually, wanted to find the first 2 players there. They're going to try and claim them back, but Nico going to get himself 2. Shuts that one down very, very swiftly. They spot the bomb out up in apartments as well. 2 players for Heroic just going to maintain their positions within the site. They also elect to go ahead and keep Snappy out here on B. Can't afford to rotate him off just yet. There's a minute and 10 seconds there. FaZe not short on time. Forced down in the open. Yugi going to take the peak, and as you said, a ballsy play. As now Idol falls onto Alu. 1v3, effectively a 1v2 within this site. He first had to try and deal with the player in pit.
Hello?
Hello? Oh. This isn't a tactic, right? Has his...
God Alu, it's a strategy, don't worry, Harry.
I mean, Nico's like a T-Rex. If you stand still, he can't see you, Alu. This is groundbreaking. This is the new meta right here.
This is not a good way. Alu could have realistically done this as well. They're so separated, he could have easily picked them up, and he was spotting Nico.
He keeps getting so close. I don't even think it's Alu's computer working. No, honestly, this has to be a tech issue, right? I think
that one's clear. Yeah. The thing is, it's so unfortunate for Nico as well. You know, he's playing it so safe, but there we go. He spots it. Oh no, he's
Nico,
realised.
Don't. Come on.
Horrible.
Not a gentleman, but a squire nonetheless. He's gonna. Yeah, I mean that was interesting. That was good. There you go. First problem already going to start to arise.
Dear oh dear. Either way, that's unfortunate though for Alu, right? Because based on the positioning from Heroic, he saw Nico. You know, we just saw Nico over peak there, but when Alu's, I imagine, PC crashed or game crashed or something along the lines. So he would have realistically maybe been able to take that first kill. The trade, obviously, from I think it was Yugi over on Archway was a little bit off, and Nico had, Alu, had the coverage on the site to actually manage to get the bomb down and maybe take a 2v1. Obviously, I think that round will probably go to Heroic unless it's replayed, but obviously that's completely down to the admins. You've got to see what they decide going into this one. But either way, Heroic pick up a round. Maybe. yeah, maybe. But yeah, that was an interesting one. I'm surprised that Alu stayed alive for as long as he did. I think we learned an important fact about Nico. Yeah, very passive, very very controlled. Then, not over-facing.
I was going to say he resembles kind of, you know, the classico dinosaur, the T-Rex. You know, famously, if you don't move, they. Is it T-Rexes that do that? I don't know. I would run.
I can't speak from experience myself.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair enough. But yeah, so based on what we've seen thus far, you know, we saw that Heroic, they were able to pick up that first round. Sadly, they didn't then convert the respective anti-eco. So that kind of lead that we could have seen them run away with, just stripped away from them flat out by FaZe, who clearly aren't messing around. If I'm FaZe, I wouldn't be feeling too disheartened if Heroic do get that round. I mean, I think that, you know, they were doing well anyway. It's very gutting because Ali, you know, 1v3, we've seen him do spectacular stuff. He could have very well done it. But ultimately, I mean, do you think that one round can make all the difference? I know that's a lot to ask, and it's a bit of a personal, opinion-based question.
Well, the thing is, the difference it will make is that
they don't have that. Well, I was going to say they don't have the AWP,
firstly, but also we need to see if that round is going to be replayed or at least stuck. Because if it's stuck, then yeah, it could make a big difference. Because FaZe, you know, realistically could have won that, but obviously, you know, just judging by the fact that it was a 1v3, I can imagine it would just be stuck in you know, the favour of Heroic. They did almost have the round closed out, and I imagine they probably could have done it in theory. So yeah, it's hard because we don't know what the actual result is. I'm sure that will be communicated with us, but either way, I don't know. We're early game. It's not like economy is making a big factor right now. Neither team have built up a huge bank to fall back on. A buy will come through regardless. So we're unsure as to what's going to be happening. But we're jumping right off the game. Alu, he's actually got the AWP back once again, and the round did stick, so he'll be opening it up. And right off the back, FaZe are playing this perfectly. They know that they've at least just upset, or had an upset, and Heroic picked up the round, so they're switching up the pace and just charging on into A. 3 kills already coming out at the cost of 1, and the bomb going down will force Heroic to save. They're too busy on B.
Yeah, and it just goes to show, you know, Heroic, they can run across the stage and start unplugging Alu's computer all they like. It doesn't make a difference to FaZe, who look like they're just going to pick themselves up a 4th back in return. Snappy over here with the AWP, trying to hold on to this. Alu, he wants to try and go for it. You've got to admire him here. Wants to get revenge for. Yeah, hopefully
he doesn't go AFK this night.
Hopefully, you know, we're not going to see a repeat. Snappy just holding the angle. Oh, here we go. Players coming up. Snappy. It's all eyes on him to try and hold to these guns. Spots the first on Alu. Is he going to be ready though? It's on the corner, it's Carrigan, takes the peek out. Snappy says no, shuts him down. Now he's going to be relying entirely on S-Tag to hold off the push in from behind. FaZe don't want to risk going for this, don't want to throw anything else away, so they make the decision just to hold on to those 2 rifles. It will be a 4th regardless coming in. for FaZe.
And that's a reset as well. Right after Heroic pick up that round with the AFK, FaZe instantly come back in with a reset. So the money for Heroic gets crushed. The save, the double save, in fact, does help them a little bit, and they will be able to buy up once more. But look at the utility. It's really held back. They've got 4 kits at least, so that's going to be okay. But we've been seeing saves in almost every single round for Heroic. So looking at the kits, it's quite difficult to justify over some utility on, you know, some of the players, like, for example, Nico, maybe picking up an HE instead, for example. But either way, FaZe, 4 rifles in now. No AWP after losing Aloe there in the chase. And up towards apartments they go once again. Similarly to the pistol round, they are going to be putting 3 players in. This time no mid control, but it seems like they just want to burst out with a flashbang. This could be really risky here without utility, but they have the aim for the game. As Nico holds on for the one for him, spray away as Keo does trade, and now we're back into a 4-on-4.
Yeah, ready to go charging out. Yugi holding off from long. Actually, they lose Modi within the site. Yugi's been forced back because of that smoke, and this is all going to be coming on FaZe. They're going to go ahead and get that bomb down. Man advantage their way in this retake. And there we go. The call's made for Heroic to fall on back and look to save. It was risky, and in all honesty there, I hate to say it, but a lot of the fault going to start really, I think, to fall on Nico. I was expecting a lot more from him there in the pit. It's you know, it's an angle he really should have got 2 from.
See, the thing is that he went for the full commitment to the spray in the hopes that FaZe would just barrel out, but after that first player pushes out, he kills him and Keo holds back. He doesn't commit and walk into the spray. He just jiggle peeks and taps him out. So at least good awareness from Keo to not just run into the full-on spray, because then we would have seen probably just complete wipe down. But yeah, good stuff from FaZe. Again, they've picked up another fast A play and they win the round. But again, I think Heroic must have saved. I'd love someone to fact check me on this. I think Heroic have saved every single round that FaZe have won, other than that second one. It's insane how many guns they've held on to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, all 5. Yeah. See, they're always holding on to guns. So maybe a little bit of a warning with rotations here. Maybe they should be going for some kind of crazy stacks early on before FaZe start to pick up a few rounds. Because right now, every round FaZe just fast play A, and then Heroic have just got everyone left on B going, oh, what's happening?
I like the analysis of they're always holding on to guns. As though there are players in this game who occasionally don't. But into this round, it is going to be the case that FaZe have sent a couple of players up here towards Banana. First time we've really seen them come in with too much aggression on these rifle rounds, and it will pay off. Ali to find the first. Ooh, he's going to go ahead and spot Snappy. Snappy just picks up the M4, looks to try and retreat. Will give up control on Banana. And now, Rain. Well, he's looking a bit curious as to what lays in store out here towards A. Bomb's still waiting passively over mid. Now going to look to try and rejoin the FaZe guys over on Banana. Only Snappy within the site. We can already see that Yugi's kind of preemptively rotating around onto Speedway. I imagine he's going to sit CT, so they will have a player lined up and ready. Actually, Modi now making his way in as well. 3 players here to try and hold back FaZe.
See, this is
come barreling in.
This is perfect. This is what I've been wanting to see from Heroic. Just go for some kind of stack play so you don't have to save every single round. And now the 4 maybe even rotating to join them. The space just barrel into the site. Modi with a spray, but he gets shot through the smoke as Karrigan entries up. The crossfire is good, but the smoke is down and Snappy is alone as Yugi runs on through it. Does get a single kill in return, but it's not enough here. He's stuck in a 2v4. They haven't got any more pickoffs, so Nico with just a pistol yet to rotate on through. The bomb's planted. Yugi looking to fall back once again, and this is where FaZe should probably start to hunt. They know they've got the round, they've got 4 players alive, leave 2 with the bomb, and they've got the money to fall back on. Heroic keeps saving these rounds, and FaZe, they should probably chase.
They will be doing just that, sending Keo down a Banana to try and find this player in mid. Rain, the one pushing into CT. They know that Yugi's here. He's going to now, after finding the first, look to try and fall on back. Oh, Rain, nice hops, buddy.
Dirty.
But yeah, Yugi's already gone. Going to be looking to try and hook up with Nico within the site. Oh, not the best phrase for that. But yeah, they will be just meeting on up here, holding on to what they can. No money for the investment, though. Does leave them in a bit of a compromising scenario once again.
And even looking at the little things, right? You get more money for winning a round if the bomb goes off. Now, 6 rounds at FaZe have won. The bomb has gone off in every single one. It's only a couple of $100 extra, but you know, it's just adding to the list of cash that FaZe have, and it's just not turning out to be a good map so far for Heroic. We did kind of expect FaZe to take this one, but I was hoping Heroic, without playing any officials recently, would be able to surprise and at least, you know, upset some kind of rounds coming into this, especially considering they started on the CT side. But Let's see, forced by Nico, pushing down apartments. Kio's on the other side, and already a pick has come through for FaZe. An attempted trade as Modi sits close, but with only a PC-50, it'll be risky for him to fight, and he will, and he'll go too. Kio, 2 frags. Now they're just going to play off that. Smokes go over towards A. Bomb's still in position, but they still hold this default on FaZe. They don't commit to it. That smoke should maybe cause a bit of a rotation, but in the meantime, they go for an impact play over on B. Snappy in the meantime, with the use of that smoke on A, looks to rotate, but again, it's the wrong call to make. FaZe are going to be moving that bomb back up towards the B site. Good for them at least, considering Yugi is on that AWP in apartments. And now, about to throw their smokes and commit towards A. Nico will even get the wallbang onto S-Tag. Not sure where that was through. They've got the site for themselves.
It just seems like Heroic are being outplayed in every scenario here. I mean, I can't think of a round where we haven't seen them just look to save. It seems like every single round just becomes a round that is too far gone. So
literally 7 rounds now.
Yeah, this time FaZe, they keep 5 alive, and this is the cause just to fully commit to this hunt. I mean, you can see you got players just sprawled out across the map. Most notably, it's Nico. Actually spied out Snappy there. Up and out, just giving them the intel. They know that these 2 players are going to be close together. That Yugi has that ult. They want to try and take it off him. He's going to pounce out onto Rain, but he's got to watch out. Nico's still there. Kio. Ooh, Snappy. Going to snap to him. He's got himself the AK to try and hold on to. Peeks out. Nico does find some damage. Spots it out for Yugi so they can communicate this and have that crossfire set up. Yugi takes the peek and is going to be punished for it. Nico looking to try and shut these echoing players down. And he will. Snappy falls, and that's FaZe now in with a 7.
And at that point, the chasing is more just adding insult to injury. It's not like Heroic have been making these rounds close. The only kills they're getting are on the exits anyway. So FaZe is chasing down these kills. It's not going to cost them an arm and a leg to die. So why not just get in the faces? Take guns off Heroic, impede the chances of them picking up the next round. And they have been doing so this entire half. Now another buy coming out for the CT side. One of the first full buys of anything in this entire game, as we see an AWP back in for Yugi, full utility almost. Based on players like Nico, for example, but it's all used early on. That's the thing. FaZe have already baited out so much utility from the CT side. Only 3 smokes will remain out of the 5 they went into the round with. So already FaZe are looking good, but a deep smoke down Banana will allow for some aggression. Heroic push both S-Tag and Snappy down there, but not fully committing as they don't have a resmoke for the job. Will eventually have to give up the control, let FaZe take it back once again, but considering they've used all their utility so early on into the round, it gives FaZe such a huge advantage because it's cost them absolutely nothing.
And really, they're only just now throwing out this utility over on the T side. Going to be making their way up Banana because he Snappy is boosted up onto flower pots towards CT. Let's tag within the site. Have this crossfire set up. It's one that is incredibly strong, and usually the position that Snappy's in, you can get yourself at least 1, but really he's going to need more than that. You have to try and lock this down, especially with most of the Heroic players being so deep within the A-bomb site. If FaZe do go for this push, you have to hold off and buy time for the rotate to come in. FaZe lining up these smokes and flashes. Actually, maybe throwing the 1 solitary smoke is now they go charging on in. The man within the site, S-Tag having himself 1. Snappy has to help out, and he will claims 2 and a 3rd in through the smoke. Snappy makes this round entirely possible, as now it's just Kio, 1 man left standing for FaZe. He does get the bomb down. He's still got so much work left to do, falling off back over towards Banana. It's going to be planted for him with 4 eyes looking his way. It is going to be 8 eyes looking his way. It is going to be very tricky for him to try and clutch this one out. 1v4.
No utility, no Molotov force out, so he goes for the nice spray, but he doesn't convert it onto Yugi, and that'll be it. Heroic pick it up. Clean stuff as well, and they even pull in the double AWP over into the next round, so maybe that'll be a bit of a win condition. Maybe that'll be a way to switch it up for the side of Heroic, because right now, FaZe are the ones leading this one, quite heavily in fact on this T side. 3 rounds now found by the Danes. And good work from Snappy as well. Great position. He actually gets from mid-air, falling onto Snappy. You can see, no, sorry, that's Rain. He takes down mid-air, so good stuff from him in defending that B site, and Heroic now finally off the back of an individual performance will pick it up. Double AWP on though. Yugi and Snappy going to be taking that for the CT side as you would expect, and FaZe continuing to buy up again. We've already talked about it. Money is no issue for this T side.
Look at this confidence from FaZe, already straight up through mid. Smoke going to come out. No. There's a gap in that. This is straight from matchmaking. Does make his way out through mid. Yugi able to find the first, now falls back, and they know not to repeat this. Oh, that's hold the angle. That was flash and smoke to allow Carrigan to get on by. Now just going to be wrapping in towards the A-bomb site. Carrigan, the man to try an entry, has players over on short, but he's the one to try and open up these opportunities to get them out into the site. Rain doesn't actually care for that. Instead, going to be taking the aggressive peeks. He's the furthest pushed up. It's going to be tagged a little bit, spots the player out, and Pitt gets the trade. Down goes Nico, and now it's the 3-on-3 with the 3 remaining players for Heroic locked out of this A-bomb site.
Only a single kit left. Utility going to be used by FaZe, but it's the AWP that will strike first. Alu, he takes down Snappy. Yugi looking to trade, but no one over peeking here for the side of FaZe. A flash will force them back, and they go for the information play, but Yugi, he still hits his shot. Not close enough, though. Alu's down to 4, and without that pick coming through, an S-tag being hit in the process, it's probably going to have to be a fallback from Heroic once again. We've seen this time and time again over on the CT side. It will be a save for the 8th round. As FaZe continue this massive streak, obviously just off the back of the previous loss, but they get the reset, Harry, and that's what's important. The money for Heroic has been crushed down to $1,400 on the loss bonus, and we've not seen enough buy-ups from Heroic as it is. So seeing this come in so late into the half is just going to cripple these guys for the rest.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you're Heroic right now, what can you do, right? You've got yourself the AWP, you've got the M4. Really, when you look at it, if you don't save these into the next, this is the best possible buy you could conceive about having, right? You wouldn't be able to get the AWP in that next round, so they are just going to elect to force buy up behind it, but now that leaves them in an incredibly awkward position if they lose this round. They're going to be ecoed in the next. FaZe just rolling in money. And it is going to be the case that early on, FaZe have actually slowed things down just a little bit, and with a plan, it's going to be Rain over in apartments. He's here with some reinforcements in the form of Keo, Alu, and Nico. Sorry, Hugo. I didn't want to cut you off there. Alu and Nico, they're over here towards Banana, just waiting as tag being flashed out. Really, he had to get one, but he's going to go down instead. So the man advantage picked up here from FaZe, even though that flash was fairly perfect. He gets caught off guard, and that's the man advantage now for FaZe.
I feel like this is when you throw in some aggression from Yugi. That's what he's known for, the aggressive AWP style on the CT side. He should be going for some kind of fight, some kind of peek here. Pull it back into a 4-on-4 with the support of a teammate, but instead he just sits passive. They're not given anything to work with. FaZe are taking so much control up through middle. They've smoked him off, they've forced him back. Now, as a result, he's going to be forced into a passive position where he can't pull this one back. And again, we see this setup from FaZe. Nico just outside of B, causing a bit of havoc, but the smoke's raining over A, and his T-side with 30 seconds left, looking to burst his site. The best position is they can just bring the bomb back if needed. They have the time for that job, but Nico going to pick it up. They start to make their way through. Nico's going to spot the rifle of Alu. It's out there, there's one as well. Can fall back, and Yugi supports from the apartments as Rain gets dropped. Keo attempting to trade, and the AWP rounds off, but it's not going to be enough here. Heroic starting to lose players as Carrigan picks up a double and moves on towards the site, and it's a 2-on-2. Nico just holding on. The bomb plant will be going down, but he's still the thorn in the side. He's a snake in the grass right now. They have to get rid of him. But without a Molotov, he can just sit passively in this position and wait for his teammate to rotate in.
Yeah, that teammate going to be Snappy already all the way short, but Nico catches him off guard out in the open with the flashbang. Now it falls onto other Nico. 1v2 over in Pit, going to be sneaking on up, but no, Nico proving he's the spicier gentleman in that engagement. Going to go ahead and take his head clean off. FaZe in with a 9th. It was looking good for Heroic in that round. I thought, you know, finally we'd seen some life, you know, a breath of fresh air into their CT side, but not the case, as now they've got no money, no hopes, no dreams, no ambitions, all shattered by FaZe.
This is not turning out to be a map for Heroic by any means. They switched it up with a 5-man B stack, but again, FaZe have been so good on this control. They haven't really been fast playing too often against these ecos. They've typically been going for the more passive approaches, just trying to get information before they commit. And this time they actually don't even play Nico and Banana. They're just walking up onto A. This may be the perfect round again for FaZe. I don't think they need any kind of help, as they just walk on through. No smokes, no flashes, completely dry here. But again, they're going to work it out in a few seconds. And Heroic will stack B, and at that point, they're in a great position. But I mean, the thing is, right, Heroic aren't hearing any Banana control, any nades, nothing, so they should probably be working out that FaZe are going for some kind of A play. Every round we've seen Nico for FaZe up on Banana, throwing Molotovs, distracting, just spamming smoke. And now that he's not doing that, Heroic should be going, guys, there's nothing here. They've gone A.
I mean, maybe we've got a Penta, Alu. I mean, Penta is in 5 people, not the team. Yeah, just alley PC break. But no, they're going to be making their way down banana. Like lambs to the slaughter, rushing into their untimely end. As Nico's here looking to try and pad those stats that much more. You can already see the kind of mass panic that's ensued in all of Heroic. As into the meat grinder they go, Nico farming these guys up. Arlu steals any possibility of an ace and actually goes ahead and takes... Oh, Nico does manage to grab that one. But yeah, it will be a 10th in for FaZe. A nice round there for Nico just to pad those stats that much more. Currently 16 to 6. I asked you, who would be the kind of the bigger driving force out of the two Nikos? And it just turns out that both of them are really pulling their own weight for their team. Ultimately, though, as we kind of said, FaZe Nico, the one to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Are these clash of twins who would have the same name for some reason.
It's a capitalization, Harry. It's different. It's okay. This time, Yugi peeking into mid, but again, he just falls back. I want to see something thrown at, spanner thrown in the works here for Heroic. Of course, it's very hard to play aggressive against FaZe, who are just holding back on default so heavily, but even so, Heroic should be trying to bring some kind of fight, because what they're doing right now is clearly not working. This passive style is leaving them to save more often than not. So right now they should be at least attempting some kind of aggression on the CT side. And the smoke is down on long, that holds off Yugi, he can't fight down here. FaZe can just walk into mid, but a gap in the smoke. Yugi's going to be able to spot Karrigan, takes the first kill. And now Heroic sitting comfortably in a 5-on-4 shouldn't have happened, but S-Tag made them right now.
Oh, no. They had no idea. Nico and Arlu completely caught off guard there with the gap in that smoke. And now it's just raining. Keo, 2v5, making their way out through mid. Going to turn their attention over here to long. Yugi is there with the AWP. They are just going to be looking to try and group up, stick together and trade this one out. They round the corner. Yugi finds the first, spots out Keo, doesn't take the peek. Instead lets him double on background in the knowledge he's got teammates around to try and help out. Keo fighting for his life here. Going to fall to Yugi as Yugi just an instrument of death in that round. 3 frags to him, including a really, really nice shot in through the smoke. It is going to be Heroic in with a 4th, but it might be too little too late at this point. So much money accrued for FaZe means that they can afford to buy regardless.
At least Heroic have a full buy for the final round, right? The best possible chances of them picking it up. The double AWP coming in, full utility, full kits, nothing held back. So it's nice to see equal playing fields for the one round that Heroic really do need to pick up. FaZe again, of course, don't want to let this one slip at all. Nico caught in Molotovs in Bernardi, he's going to get overrun, burned down like a crisp. And down to 19 as he falls back towards the T-spawn. Not a good start for FaZe in that sense.
No, he's looking very scared, very frightened. I didn't like seeing that. It felt like cruelty. But yeah, already he's made his way up through short. You're going to be able to shut down Karrigan over in mid. It's maybe the 3-on-5. Keo, Nico, and Arlu, all that remain for FaZe. Going to be still focusing on the push out towards A. Smoke comes in. He's going to take this time to flash himself out. Takes the aggressive angle. Let's go for the peek and has a teammate here now. Oh. They're going to go ahead and boost on over. Just waiting, it's Arlu to round the corner. He falls. Yugi going to miss that shot. Not they want to try and continue this aggression, but Yugi faster on the trigger, able to go ahead and find himself a second. Still got more work left to do, but there's very little time left at this point. Key able to spot out the 2 players over towards long. Nico just biding his time. It'd be an incredible clutch that they'd have to try and pull off. Nico going to flash himself on through, goes down. And now it is all on Keo. He's going to fall at the last hurdle, and that is Yugi to finish that round off in a big way.
So dominant for FaZe in that half, regardless of that final couple going the way of Heroic. I was expecting a far more closer game coming into this matchup, but at least we saw Yugi step up in the final couple of rounds, right where we needed him to. I was hoping for some aggression, but the passive style did seem to work out. FaZe slowing down a little bit. Maybe, should have been playing that B site a little bit more. We saw them hit A quite a lot. Obviously, it had good success, especially in the earlier start of the half, but as it started to dwindle down and Heroic starting to pick up off rounds, I'd like to just see FaZe throw in a B play, just a really fast B play.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that, we both noticed, I think anyone would have noticed if you are, kind of keeping up with even the most basic CS, right, is that FaZe, they had a hell of a lot more money throughout all of that. Their economy was perfect. We never saw them in a situation where they looked at all vulnerable, really with the exception of that second round where they force bought into it. And even then, they had 2 rifles to play with, right?
Rifles,
so, yeah, and they go into that round, they pick that up, and from that point on, it was just all downhill for Heroic. And really, if you look at it, if they didn't get that one round where Alu's PC and, disconnected, and we saw that played out, it could have even been, a much more one-sided scoreline. Who knows? But do you think that FaZe is going to be too worried now heading into the CT side?
I don't think this game is exactly done, but I'm not expecting it to fall too close. Again, the pistol is going to be a big change, and that's an unknown entity in and of itself, but either way, this is actually a really good setup for Heroic right now. They're walking into B. There's two players on the other side. There's no utility for FaZe to hold off this play. So Modi can go for this smoke. They can go, just barrel into the site, and they won't have much fight back. But look at FaZe. They've already found themselves down middle. Alu's on the other side. Snappy is holding the angle, but here's a charge into B. They wrap through the CT spawn. Snappy holds off the rotation as he takes down Alu. And already a think has been done, but Carragher fires back regardless. Modi gets dropped, and he'll pick up 2 before he falls. But Nico stepping up for the side of Heroic this time as he picks up a double, and the bomb will go down.
Yeah, the man up close is Keo over in CT, waiting for his buddy to come in, but he's able to find the first. Still got more work left to do. Both players over in Ruins. S-Tag able to find the first frag, but Rain turns this one back round. It's into the one-on-one we go, and just playing ring around a Rosie. With S-Tag, Rain, you fantastic man. What a way to kickstart this second half of FaZe. They go ahead and triumphantly secure that pistol. Defuse comes on in the 1v1, as close as you could have liked. FaZe going to be able to secure that, carry them through to an 11th round. And with it, it's really not looking good for Heroic now.
No, I wouldn't be surprised at a force buy here, to be honest. The money is dire, but FaZe have such a lead, it's ridiculous. And yeah, Heroic will go for it. Tech9s are going to be in. A single deagle on Yugi, he likes that weapon, but oh no, this is the BM by Harry. This is the auto shotgun on Keo for apartments, the Carragher on the MP7, not exactly the best gun, but I mean, we've been seeing it pick up a little more use lately, especially for kind of range over the UMP. And Keo is going to be setting up towards the apartments. A good buy for FaZe, but again, an exploitable one at that for Heroic, seeing as Tech9s are great just for charging into sites. But Modi, he's about to walk up through apartments. Keo is just on the other side with that XM, and this could be so dangerous. If Modi just walks right into this one, he may fall down, but Flash is going to get set up to burst him out. This could be perfect for Keo's positioning. Either way, he's likely to just spray that gun as the burst comes through. So Flash down, smokes are on the site as well, and FaZe is on the other side. It's going to be Keo to strike first. Shotgun makes its work done, does get himself one, fires up for more, but Snappy trades as he falls into the pit area. FaZe actually losing numbers here, but we have Carragher with the MP7 in the site. Nothing will be found from him, just darting around. It's FaZe almost hugging this round, pushing in through smokes will fall. And this leaves just Nico in a 1v3.
Now it is just Nico. Oh, that shot was a little bit close. There's a gap in that smoke, and he's looking to try and exploit it to its fullest. Snappy holding the close angle, going to be up on top of the boxes. He's going to be sneaking on by. They keep leaving holes in these smokes, and Nico is keen to run away with that. Snappy, come on, you can see him. There we go. Turns his attention onto him, but no, Nico will pick that up. 1 HP and a dream. Yugi will be the player to swiftly crush Nico's dreams in that round as Heroic go ahead and secure themselves a 6th. Now only 5 rounds behind FaZe, and they've finally twisted their arm into going in for a bit of a force into this one. The first time we've actually seen FaZe forego a round, and as a result, be the downturn of a bad economy.
Yeah, and we will see FaZe cutting corners in the sense that they don't buy up armor here, they just stick with the pistols, and this is something we've been seeing more and more, at least on the CT side. After losing that pistol, obviously this is the third round of the half, but after losing the pistol on the CT side, typically you would see a force buy. But more commonly than not now, we've been seeing teams just buy up pistols, and FaZe are kind of doing the same thing coming into this round. They know the chance of them winning it is low, considering Heroic's money is going to be great after winning that force buy round. And as a result, they're just saving a little bit so they can buy up eventually in 2 rounds' time with more utility and the option of an AWP over on Alu as well. So this is good control from FaZe and better control from Nico as he picks it up a 1v on Banana. Trade will be found, however. Yugi spraying in through the wall. And now we see a pre-rotation from FaZe, moving Alu back towards that B site. Heroic still hold this default. There's no reason to overextend as they wait for FaZe to shift their positioning. But Alu falls back towards A, and this leaves Heroic now with only a solo player on B to deal with.
As we can see from this setup, I mean, it looks like already Heroic are doubting themselves. The bombing to be rotating back over towards mid. You've got 2 players over here at Apps, and they might go walking into the clutches of FaZe in the A bomb site. It seems like every strategic decision Heroic makes is, with the odds against them. As now they push up through mid. All 4 players here. They're going to be walking into 3 for FaZe. Over in pit. Keo spots the player out and Haps now. Rain has to try and support as best he can. Players do making their way in over towards long. They bypass completely now. Off library. Down goes Keo and Rain within the site. One man still alive. It's Alu, but no. S-Tag going to get himself too. It all falls onto Carrigan. 1v4 with that stolen UMP. And he's just going to look to try and hold on to that over in T-Spawn. It will be Heroic now with the 7th. It's getting a little bit closer.
Nice bit of Italian radio there.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Very relaxing. I think
This is
you can't hear footsteps there, so he's probably going to have to move.
I'm a big fan of that radio station. I know Carrigan is too. It's actually what he listens to when he warms up.
Really?
Yeah, just that.
The sweet opera music.
Is that actually what it plays?
No, but I'm just assuming.
Oh, he's made a friend. Look at him. Carrigan. Such a nice man. Such a a great example of how a gentleman should. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Okay, oh, he's doing love hearts around it. But yeah, that's going to be Heroic now in with the 7th. 4 round behind that of Heroic. Still no money here for FaZe. We're going to buy just a little bit up into this round. Will be the case that actually they can get armor up behind that UMP, which does give them a little bit more to bring to this fight. But yeah, it's going to be a round that you would imagine to go the way of Heroic in this scenario.
And this is the thing, they saved the money in the previous round by not going for armor, so they can invest a little bit more. They can get pistols once again, whereas this would typically, if they forced in the previous, just be a full-on eco. So it gives you kind of 2 options to play for to get damage done. It's not exactly, a round winner by going for a couple of CZs and Deagles, but it can give you more damage done. And now FaZe, with the opposite of the previous one, a solo player on A will be Rain, 4 towards B, hoping Heroic will switch things up and move back towards this side of the map, but it's a wrong call to make. Much as how we saw in the previous half, the exact same thing has happened for FaZe now. Heroic have walked into the site with little to no defense. Rain will be falling down firstly, and Carrigan trying to rotate in gets dropped by S-Tag. It's nothing for the CT side. But again, there's no real reason to save. Apart from Keo has armor, everyone else can kind of just go for this.
Yeah, and even then, right, Keo has enough money to buy, so he might just look to try and make some money with this UMP. They didn't even bother investing into it. It's snappies from the previous round that they're able to steal, so could be some money to be made. Nico, gonna be here with the D as the rest of the team now fade away. He's looking to try and make things costly. Ooh, and when Nico beats real Nico in that duel, and it's gonna be a Heroic in with their 8th. Now only 3 rounds between them and FaZe. This is where things get a little bit scary. Ollie wants to try and... I was wondering what he was doing.
AFKing again. His PC crashed and his WQ was just, glitched. Either way, I mean, you say this is getting closer, and of course it is, but now FaZe have actually got a rifle round ahead of them. They haven't had one in, a proper full buy this half yet, so this is where we see what they're made of, or whether Heroic has some good T-side executes. Obviously, Heroic a team of Fetish as their coach, so maybe he's been doing a bit of research, maybe he's cottoned on to what FaZe want to do over on this map. They've had time to at least know what their first matchup was going to be, so this is where we see what Heroic are made of. FaZe pretty much defaulted that entire first half, and they got away with it pretty well. But now we see if Heroic have anything ingenious to show us, or if they're just going to fall short as FaZe go for the rifles.
Yeah, for Heroic, it's going to be turning their attention out here towards A. Everyone stacked up over in mid. You've got Alu holding the push in from long for FaZe. Does have a crossfire set up with Rain, although he's playing it a little bit more passively than perhaps you would like. Smokes and flashes out towards mid. Alu takes the peek and finds the purple to S-Tag. No trade frag in sight to come out as the rest of the team just go barreling out through apps, but they don't account for Keo, who's going to be their problem for trying to contend with. They managed to trade that out. Carrigan able to drop Yugi, leaving this now all on Nico within pit. In the 1v3, has himself the AK, has got the bomb as well. A singular Molotov. Has to try and find something quickly because he knows that player from B could be rotating on it. Already arrived. Now up in apps, it's Carrigan to hold this potential crossover towards Broken Wall. They heard him. That singular sound cue. They know what the game plan is. Crossing on out of the open, and Carrigan will dispatch of him. FaZe in with their 12.
still Heroic have money to fall back on. So the buy will be coming through here for the T side. That's good to see. And this gives them potential for reset as well. If Heroic manage to pick up this round, FaZe's money will be crushed once again. But it's easier said than done. AKs are in. Yugi back on the AWP to contend with Alu once again here for the T side. But either way, FaZe, as I said, this is starting to get close, but they haven't had a rifle round, and that rifle round proved why. I don't think this is exactly going to be a win for Heroic, but let's see what they can show as Nico sits towards a banana. He's got support from Karrigan again, but they have no AWP. Gotta be a little bit careful here, don't want to get smoke shot. It's Heroic, they just put a bit of pressure onto B, just trying to force out some utility. FaZe playing very, very slowly in this one, not wasting utility early on. As a Molotov goes down, they throw a couple wave, and that will try and get rid of Heroic, but they counter-smoke it. Good double nade, and that actually works out really well. I like it for FaZe. They throw the molly, it forces the players in towards that wood room, and then they can just double nade it, knowing there's likely going to be a T there, guaranteeing themselves a kill. That's a nice setup.
Now Heroic having to try and play this one with the man disadvantage. Nico already going to take a little bit of damage out here. Ooh, going for the spray. Kyo going to return with a spray of his own, both missing each other there. Two players. S-Tag and Yugi up here towards Banana. Shoulder peek comes out from CT, but he misses the shot. Smoke going to go down to hold back Heroic over towards Banana. Molly back in return with only 30 seconds left. They have to be quick in thinking as to where they are going to head, and it looks like that will be B.
Look at Modi.
Yeah. He could be the one to make all the difference. He's worked his way out towards A. He can prevent these rotates to come in.
Exactly that, yeah. As they start to rotate, he'll be there in position, but they've got to take control of the site, otherwise his position is completely useless. He holds one, he takes two, and the entries come in, leaving just Karrigan on the B site. He'll only get one before he falls, and now this is perfect for Heroic. The position of Modi has single-handedly shut down the round, but it was so dependent on them getting those first couple of picks, which they did. Kyo, now the last man to rotate back on in. They've not got money to buy up, so a save would make sense here, but, I mean, at the end of the day, sometimes you just got to go for it. Kyo looks to do so. Not going to fully commit, though. He's just holding on to Banana for exits as Yugi on the other side won't spot the head, and he's about to walk into his untimely death. There it is. Yugi takes him down. And Heroic, they will pick up the round, and that's such a great play from Modi as well. They late push it. FaZe hadn't actually pre-rotated anyone there, so Modi could just completely wipe the floor. And considering he's on 4 kills right now in the entire best of one, this entire map, 4 kills, 2 of those were in the previous round.
Yeah, no money left for FaZe into this one. They bought the dig up on Nico. Kyo's got himself a 5-7. They'll be rushing down mid, but it's just like shooting fish in a barrel for Yugi. Well, at this point, the fish look to be a bit deadly as they do make their way on down. Nico with a dispatch of 1. There's still more players out in mid, but Yugi and Snappy Nearly gets caught from behind, but instead runs out to his death into the firing squad, leaving this all on Nico, the man with the dig. Over here towards apartments. He wants to try and make things costly. But Heroic just going to bypass him in his entirety, make their way in towards B, get this bomb down. They know there's no need to go hunting, right? He's only got himself a dig, doesn't have armor behind it. They don't want to risk throwing anything away. The only player who could really justify doing much here is Snappy to get that extra money. But, I mean, he's tagged down so low at this point. It's worse for them if they lost him in this engagement. Nope, spots one out over on Banana, but other Nico shuts him down, and that's Heroic in with the 10th.
Now things are starting to get scary, at least for FaZe, because Heroic are bringing this one back on the T side. A good couple of rounds in a row there. Obviously that was being anti-eco, but now FaZe, despite not investing a penny into the previous round, can't afford to buy up. This is not a full buy by any means. This is where I'd like to see some UMPs thrown in, maybe a shotgun up in the apartment or close on B. They've committed to 4 rifles, one of them being a FAMAS. At that point, surely you just go for the UMP on brain instead, but obviously hoping for the range on the side of FaZe will limit them when it comes to utility. And this has been something that they've been good at. We saw a couple of rounds ago, they managed to get that pick off in Banana with the utility usage. So to see it now out of the hands of FaZe, they've got to take the gunfights. Smoke down bottom of Banana will give a bit of a gap to Alu to strike, but it will eventually dissipate. Alu just holding the angle. Heroic are aware of this. They've got no utility to bait out these CTs, and Alu missing the shot, having to fall back, gives Heroic more control to work with as they push in through Banana.
Yeah, his tag's already close. Alu able to go ahead and help out, does get the first. Have to be careful though, because Yugi and Snappy are here, and they're able to find the trade in the form of Nico. equalizing this back into a 4-on-4 now. Still fixated over here on Banana, and Alu has to be careful. Yugi's going to be holding that when the AWP takes the peak, but Alu faster on the trigger. Able to go ahead and find a second, return that man advantage back in favor of FaZe. Snappy out to get revenge for his fallen brethren over here towards Banana. Going to be making his way up. Looking to try and cut his way through the B-bomb site. Rest of the team here throwing in these smokes and flashes. Only 25 seconds they have to dedicate to this and going for the push. And as they start to land, the play has been telegraphed. Karrigan over in CT, smoked back, leaves all this on Alu within the site, who's got himself 3, trying to get more done, and Alu, the beast, gets himself 4. Karrigan denies the ace, but a fantastic round there from Alu on that CT site. Phenomenal stuff to pick that round up for FaZe, right when it was looking a little bit scary for them, in all honesty, Hugo.
Yeah, I understand what Heroic was trying to do. They knew that obviously the reason B is so strong as being held on the CT side is that utility. They knew FaZe had low utility, so just trying to exploit that by running into a site where they couldn't be smoked or mollied off. Unfortunately for them though, obviously Alu goes massive. Now that leads to the double AWP coming in for the CT side. Nico as well as Alu going to be picking that one up. This is where problems will start to arise. Heroic should have been picking up that previous round. They should have been bringing this back to 12-13. At least with the win of the anti-eco at least coming up after that one. But now we see a whole different situation. FaZe up to 13 themselves, close to closing this map out. Keo on the boost spot. We have a couple of players towards short. Heroic switching this up this time. But look at this. A lack of banana control is going to be a real issue here, because if FaZe start to bite down, they could just push all the way into T-spawn. Not only can they get all the map control, they can get all the information with this alongside. S-Tag going to start to fall back as he realizes of the potential, hearing the smokes being thrown down over in Banana. But it seems like he doesn't care about the back lines, and that's because Heroic are about to fast play A. They don't care about the rotations. Just get into the site, try and get those entries, but the positioning here from FaZe is perfect. They have Keo on the boost, they have Rain playing close in the bait spot, and even Alu with the AWP, and that's just on the site.
If Heroic gets slowed down for even a second, this could be over and done with. Smoke comes out, Keo's repositioned, going to be Molotov's off, dancing around, happy feet. And you're able to shut him out. Going to drop a second on Karrigan in the smoke. Rain falls as well. It's just Nico and Alu, the two players. Left Alu within the site, has himself the AWP, trying to hold this back. Only able to get one before Nico trades him out, leaving this all on the real Nico. 1v3. Just going to now save the AWP. That's Heroic in with an 11th. And this is far closer than I ever imagined this being. And I think if there's one man we need to look at over on FaZe who I feel like is underperforming when you consider how well he usually does, there's only one thing that springs to mind, and that's Rain.
I mean, the same though for Modi. Look at him, 4 kills, 4 and 5 respectively. And then we have, you know, at least the real step up is actually on the side of Heroic. We have 2 players on 20 plus frags, whereas FaZe don't have anyone on that number. Nico's only up on 19. I say only, but you know, in comparison, considering they've got more rounds. But that being said, the reset coming in once again. Harry, I think we're seeing a pattern so far in this half. 1 for FaZe, 2 for Heroic. Again and again. So you see these T's pick up another round. Up to 11. FaZe, hard reset. Only the AWP to play with. I wouldn't be surprised if they force fought this one, but to be honest, I think with the loss bonus, they have 2 players on 3k, 1 player on 5k. They should eco, just a single eco, and they should buy up once again. Karrigan can play on a UMP next round. We can have another Y4-2 in play, and then you know, see what you can make do with that last player if he's up on a shotgun or a FAMAS, for example. So it won't be too bad, but utility is kind of been the bane of FaZe's existence. That's been something they've been lackluster over on the CT side. And once again, Nico sitting in a molly, trying to catch someone off guard, will get burned down to 30. Not a good way to start it, considering he's the only player on this site with armor. Actually, no, sorry, Alu's there as well to swap over with that USP. But Heroic, they're not biting. They're moving up towards A. Only up against pistols here. Keo is not going to be spotted. He just strikes there. Third, second as well. Not getting dropped. Keo looking for a little bit more, but he gets too hungry. A Snappy snaps back. Modi as well, pushing up through short, will take Rain on the site. And this is just the 2 B players left to rotate in.
Yeah, it's Nico and Alu. They've got themselves that AWP to try and make some magic happen. Nico going to be taking that over towards long. Bomb ticking away, they're on the clock, and he's going to make the decision to save. He has a kit, has himself armor, and Alu's in the back line, but doesn't want to risk throwing this AWP away. Leaving this all on Alu. He wants to try and make things costly if he can. Should better get himself a rifle, and now at this point should just try and save. I mean, he's got armor in the AK, so perfect stuff there from these 2 saving players. Heroic in with a 12th. Now 1 round away from equalizing this out, and Alu's a lucky man. He actually hears them. He's going to go ahead and take the fight because he's mental. Down goes Muddy. And actually looking to try and get a little bit more done as Yugi was in the site, but no time. Heroic only one round away from equalizing this out. Let's not forget it was a 10-5 half. With FaZe winning the pistol. So a phenomenal comeback from Heroic right now on their T side.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. I did not expect this at all, but I'm very impressed so far on the terrorist half. FaZe bringing in the double AWP once again. Maybe we'll see a bit of a switch up in pushing, and we will. Alu tries to push down. The flash comes in. Heroic expecting this one. They've got 3 lined up ready and waiting. This is so dangerous for Alu to be taking part in, and he will fall back. As the flash is forcing, Heroic, good awareness of what FaZe were going to throw into the mix there. Nico still with the second lock down towards Banana, but they're using their utility to try and get rid of him. Molotovs and HGs flying on in. You won't be able to spot a thing as the smoke is down. Good for Heroic for holding back there, because if they just went for the standard mid-take that they've been doing every single round without utility, FaZe could have easily exploited that. We've not seen this all presence down through middle.
Heroic still dedicated to leaving players over here at Banana, but in the meantime, they've been allowed to work their way out through mid. Alu to hold the cross. Now, he's been key in these last couple of rounds for FaZe. It's great they got him back on the AWP. You can understand why they were so desperate to carry rifles forward, including the AWP that now we see in the hands of Nico. 40 seconds left, Heroic. Still with a nice bit of utility to their name. Only really flashes remaining for FaZe to try and hold back this push. And they're going to throw out a solitary fake down here towards Banana. That's going to hit Nico and actually feigns that rotate out from Carrigan. No, it doesn't. He's smart, he's wise, he even tricked me. And now, he turned their attention to him, and Ollie misses that first shot. That could be the difference maker, but saying that, he gets himself some damage done. Goes in for the second. Nico's now hit down low. He has Carrigan here to help out. The crossfire is perfect, forced out by the Molotov. He will go down. As now it falls onto Yugi and Modi, 2v4. Carrigan's now donning the AWP for FaZe, caught out in the open. Actually switched back there. Tagged away. Leaving this all on Yugi, and now there's no time left. Just going to look to try and hold on to the AWP. He has to be careful. Let's find some damage. That's FaZe in with a 14th. Still money left for Heroic. They can afford to buy up into this.
Dangerous stuff for Alu there, but nice teamwork from FaZe to pull Carrigan in to at least support him. After he goes for those first couple of kills, you would expect him to re-peek as they're going to obviously molly him out, but Carrigan comes in, peeks out wide, and doesn't allow anyone to cross towards his position. A 3-for-1 essentially there that FaZe picked up in terms of the eliminations. And now, this is getting very, very close to swinging back into the favour of FaZe. Unless Heroic get this hard reset here that we've been seeing time and time again that they have been managing to do on this T side, FaZe may close this game here and now. This is one of the last buys for Heroic. They haven't got a lot of cash to fall back on, so FaZe obviously doing the damage so far. We will see this app's presence once again, but this time a little bit more focused down towards B. Some aggression from Nico with the AWP at the corner, and that will force a rotation from Carrigan, who actually just moves back. Not going to swap with Alu, because why would you have 2 AWPs on B, but Nico now solo playing this site. This could be good, because he's in a position where he can get a pick, he can drop back, and then just play the site passively, waiting for flashbangs to come through, hoping they won't just dry walk on in. He falls back anyway. No rotation just yet. That's a smoke for the job. Nice tag coming out. He will be put down to 50 HP early on. And that may force a rotation. They may want to go, no point leaving Nico here. He's tagged up. Carrigan looks to fall on back to regroup with his teammate down towards B. Just play the safe option. That's Heroic take Banana control. Oh.
Flashes come through. Nico trying to get the hell out of there. Does manage to just escape by the skin of his teeth. In the meantime, I was going to say Modi trying to replicate that lurk from rounds ago, but this time he's been eliminated, guillotined by Alu. And now, the 4 remaining players for Heroic looking to try and just obliterate their way in towards the B-bomb site. Nico's been burnt out into the open. He'll go down, but Carrigan's still causing problems within the site. Had to buy time. He buys a little bit. It's allowed Ali to make his way around over towards Ruins, but the bomb plant will come in. It's a 3-on-3 in the retake. Bomb going to be ticking away. FaZe already got players over in CT. Ali, the first man on the scene, waiting for Keo and Rain to push on through. Going to try and deploy the boost. Keo put on top of flower pots. Nico able to drop him out. Man advantage secured here for Heroic. Bomb timer still ticking away, and at this point, FaZe, they're just looking to try and save. It will be a 13th for Heroic.
And that's our reset, Harry. I want to see the scoreboard after this, because it's been 2-1, 2-1 pretty much every round this half. apart from the earlier starts where we saw a lot of force buys and ecos come in, Heroic have just been hard resetting every single time FaZe get on the board. Look, that's 3 in a row now. Another hard reset coming through. Heroic have not been allowing FaZe to get any control over their economy, and despite the double up that we continually see thanks to the saving from FaZe, it's almost the same kind of half. If we compare this to the previous one, it was 3-1, 3-1, 3-1 for FaZe, and now it's just 2-1 till Heroic close it out. They're getting very, very close, Harry. The money for FaZe is an issue. We have to see a single eco, but look at their cash. Even after this single eco, they will not be able to buy up fully without a save.
Blow for blow over a mid, no damage done just yet, but much to their advantage, 3 players of FaZe in the B bomb site, leaving Karrigan and Alu here. At A, Alu going to take this peek, the timing was nearly perfect, he goes for the no-scope, doesn't want to chance it, well fall back. Heroic know this AWP is here, the rotate's already going to be coming in from Nico, who now joins his comrades within the site, push comes through, already a player down in pit. Completely bypassing the rest of the team. Rain still hiding within the site. Ali able to find the first. He has to step up in a big way. Rain's here with that AK as well to try and help out. Push going to come on out. Yugi doesn't check the angle. Rain able to go out and find the first. Trades come through as Alu and Rain, the 2 players with rifles, both go down simultaneously. And now it is just Karrigan and Keo. 2v3. Oh. Karrigan just did so much work. He puts it now to a 2-on-2. They have to go ahead and cross and get that bomb down. They've made this possible, though. They've only got pistols, don't have armor. It's not likely. But they bought precious time. It's allowed Karrigan now to worm his way through over towards Long. Gonna double back this way. He has this crossfire set up with Keo. Modi's the real threat. Watching from pit. He's got eyes on both of these players when the push does come in. Spots the first out. Down goes Karrigan. Keo to try and trade things back. We'll be able to pick up that first, but Nico instantly pouncing out from the site. Gains Heroic that 14th, the equalizer. And now we're all tied up. Anyone's game, Hugo. OT looking likely.
Back to the drawing board here for FaZe. They've got no AWP. The money is low as we expected, and without pulling any UMP or anything, their utility is affected as a result. We have got 4 smokes and a single Molotov, but only a single kill on Karrigan. It's going to be vital. He's in the right position for this one. This is insane from Heroic, though. What a comeback. I'm very impressed so far, but it's not over. They've still got to get out of the hardest possible bit. We know what Danish teams are like in close matches. We know what their history is like. So they don't want to choke right now, because FaZe, they still have it in them. They have full rifles to play with, and Heroic starting to sneak up through Banana early on here. They have, again, Modi just sitting outside of A, trying to do his damage. We've seen, one round at least where he's, had a lot of impact from that lurk position, but previously FaZe have been typically able to shut him down, so he's got to be careful. If he goes down before anyone initiates the push over on B, that instantly allows FaZe to just take the man advantage and maybe bring a bit of aggression with it too.
For FaZe right now. I mean, the gravity of this round is just insane. This is a team that I think, they came into this feeling very comfortable against, and now both teams just teetering on the edge of match point. 14-14, Heroic throwing a barrage of utility in towards the B bomb site, and this is where we have to see Nico and Karrigan step up. It's crunch time, and Nico, he's the master of exactly that. Gets himself to the bomb's been dropped down. The open goes back for a little bit more. Yuki shuts him down, but now Karrigan drops the bomb within the site. He's bought so much time, and it's a slaughterhouse inside of B. It's all on Modi. And this lurk roll just does not work out if the rest of your team get completely butchered within B. 1v4, and he's just going to be forced to save. FaZe arrive at match point a little too late, and now it's time to see if the trend does continue of that back and forth.
I think OT is possible here. Heroic have a bit of cash to play with, but what a round by FaZe, what a round by Nico.
Why and Karrigan, right? Within the site, both of them stepping up in such a big way. Nico gets those first 2, but equally, if Karrigan had gone down, that bomb would have come in, it would have been a 3-on-4 in the afterplant with Modi on the flank.
Exactly.
So actually, I mean, I think Karrigan there as well. Both players pulling more than their weight right now. And actually, it couldn't be more perfect. The economy of Heroic is going to be bottomed out. They have to force buy into this round, and as a result, I imagine we could see something a little bit fast come in.
Now we have mollies, so fast plays are going to be extremely risky for Heroic. FaZe, they can just hear the footsteps, drop the Molotovs. Alu holding close in the apartments. He's going to see the peek. Doesn't land the shot, gets tagged down instead. It's information grab for Heroic. They know where one of the possible 2 AWPs are going to be playing. Again, we have this solo player over on B. It's going to be a perfect setup because Karrigan's pre-rotating in time. Heroic are going to start the fast play, as you said, Harry. Alu on the site, he's fully blinded. They should be taking advantage of the smoke, but they can't. Karrigan's rotation is perfect, and he gets 2. Falling back with the pistol as well. The bomb is dropped, but Alu rotates in from long to do the damage. A single one for him before the trade, but it doesn't matter because FaZe are shutting this round down. It's all onto Modi. And FaZe have made it doable. After a bit of a slow second half, they finally close it out, and Modi will fall finally to allow 16 rounds to be picked up by FaZe Clan. They take the victory in their first match of ESL One Cologne.
That was uncomfortably close, Hugo. That was... I thought this was going to be clean cut. Let's bear in mind, a 10-5 first half from FaZe.
Yeah.
They go on to win the pistol in the second, and then it goes 16-14. I think, you know, whatever your opinion is, Heroic did a fantastic job of pulling that one back to be so close. And, you know, from FaZe's point of view, I can imagine they're not going to be too happy with that result. I mean, this is one that when you look at on paper, you say, no, they should be coming out miles ahead of Heroic.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, this is what, you know, arguably the second best team in the world, perhaps even, you know, the best at times. You know, we've seen them do phenomenally well. And Heroic, a team which hasn't even been on anyone's radar as of late, suddenly cropping up and, you know, taking it to phenomenal lengths.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate for Heroic though, because it looks like they're going to bring it back at a certain point. The thing is as well, we mentioned that the second half kind of went 2-1-2-1 for Heroic every single time, and they were shutting down FaZe. You know, ironically enough, the round in which FaZe actually brought back was when they bought after that 2-1, and they shut down Heroic before they could pick up 2 in a row. So that was what hurt the economy to force Heroic into that terrible buy for the last round, and that was just off of FaZe going for that, you know, full M4 no utility buy. Helped them perfectly. They managed to pick it up off the back of Nico and Karrigan, as you mentioned, on that B site, and there's the win for them. So obviously, while it's close, you say they may not be too happy with that. At the end of the day, a win is a win. And FaZe are going to make it with 1-0 so far in the Swiss format. Heroic falling down as you would expect, but again, you know, very, very close.
Yeah, Harley, the hero we needed, but perhaps not the one that we deserve. Actually had a couple of very important plays there in that CT half in particular. But I was hoping we were going to see the main highlight there between Nico and Karrigan that we were on about so much, but apparently not. It's back to us. Yeah, so after that one, I think there's one man who was a little bit more disappointed with FaZe's performance the most. I think that would be Rain. I feel like he definitely underperformed. Equally Modi as well over on the side of Heroic. Yeah, I mean, do you think that that's something that maybe it was just kind of a map thing, or the fact that it's kind of the first game we've really seen these guys play? Because, you know, some teams, whenever they kind of play these first couple of games, we do see them fail. One that always comes to mind is probably Envy. They're very, very bad in the early stages. Obviously, you know, not here. But, yeah, I mean, same sort of story potentially, right? Or do you think that, you know,
I mean, not everyone can step up, right? Not everyone can
that's true.
But of
course, at the same time, it wasn't a matter of stepping up. They were down at the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, people have their games. Everyone has their bad games. Okay. You can't read into it too much. Hopefully, it won't, you know, remain throughout the tournament, because obviously, if FaZe actually want to pick up their second big win, this is going to have to be where everyone steps up. Rain can't afford to be down there at 5-6 kills the entire game. He needs to be up at the top with the rest of the team, as he usually is. You know, that's the thing about FaZe. We don't look at them and we don't look at a weak link. Even the cooler, some teams struggle with the cooler getting frags. At least MSL is somewhat, or was at least, an example previously over on North. Now we kind of look at FaZe, you know, with Karrigan at least calling, he's still able to put up big numbers. Yeah. So looking at the team in general, it's a surprise to see Rain stepping down, because this is a team where everyone is typically consistent.
And, well, that was it for the first game. Fantastic stuff. And we've still got many hours of CS left to come. But be sure to stick around. We're going to go ahead and take a very, very quick break, and then we will be back.